What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and with me today, as always, is Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? It only took so many takes to get this going. Happy holidays, everybody. So this should be the Christmas episode. So this one will be podcast exclusive because the radio station we're on, so WDJY 99.1 FM, they shut down for the holidays. So those episodes already been loaded. And then you guys are getting an exclusive or two for the remainder of the holiday. So with that being said, we'll jump right into it. Without further ado, Chan, I give it to you for the first topic.
All right, everybody. This first one comes from Yahoo Finance, written by David Hollerith. And the title of this one is North Korea just had its biggest year ever stealing cryptocurrency. So we've talked about this before, right? Because I'm pretty sure we did it for the show where we did the Bybit hack back in February, right? That was attributed to North Korea. I'm pretty sure we hit on it. If we didn't, we talked about it offline. But they're saying that that the cyber attackers sponsored by the rogue regime is what they call North Korea, right? Has swiped over 2.02 billion in cryptocurrency since January 2025, right? 2.02 billion with a B. That's a lot of money. And it's actually a 51% increase over 2024 for North Korea, right? And so it only makes sense that we're going to see more of this, right? Because of the advent of cryptocurrency and its use and how it's becoming more common as a currency, right? And I'm not saying that just from, it used to be the currency of criminals, right? When it came to cryptocurrency, right? It was always, we wanted in some type of cryptocurrency is what we want our ransomware, what we want our ransom in and things of that nature. But no, that's not necessarily the case, right? And you have all these countries, to include the United States and China, that are doing their best to implement cryptocurrency into the everyday life, right? You're going to start seeing more cryptocurrencies, digital dollars, whatever you want to call it, right? Or digital currency, pretty much, being utilized in all these different places now, right? And like major economies, like when I mentioned United States and China, these are major economies that are doing it. But point being, right? They've up to date to early December is when they have these numbers for, so they could have another big hack or another big theft before the year ends, right? Because we're not there yet. We still got some days until the year ends, but 2.02 billion in crypto since January 2025, right? So they do the math here, right? And they said the total identified haul from crypto theft since 2016 has been 6.75 billion, right? So that's a lot of money out there that's being taken in the crypto markets, right? But North Korea is using this as a way to fund, different missile programs and their nuclear program that they're trying to do. So because it is so easy, let me not say so easy, because it is becoming easier to infiltrate and to use like the DeFi apps is what they call them, right? So the DeFi apps are the decentralized financial apps, which make it easier for them to, I don't want to say launder money, but to move money around, because what it is there's no middleman. You don't have like a bank or anything in between to kind of give that scrutiny of, hey, this just doesn't look right, right? It's kind of peer to peer when it comes to them using those and getting the money into their government to utilize and spend however they want, right? So because they're stealing cryptocurrency, like the people that they're dealing with anyway, your Russias, your Chinas, they don't care how the money comes, they just want their money, right? So North Korea is like, hey, we got something for you, don't look behind the curtain here, right? To see where we got it from, but this is where we got it. Yeah, so that's, and I can only imagine it's only gonna grow next year, right? In 2026, again, because it's becoming more widely utilized. That if it jumps another 50%, right, you're looking at $4 billion, right? Like it's crazy. No, excuse me, my math is off. $3 billion, whatever it may be.
But
Yeah.
I can't. I do not math in public.
Yeah. That'd be 100% if it just doubles to 4 billion. So it'd be 3 billion, right? In cryptocurrency theft. But this is going to be something going forward that it won't just be North Korea doing this, right? Like you will see other countries that may have nefarious things going on that want to fund these programs that may not necessarily have the money like North Korea does, getting into this game of stealing cryptocurrency. And again, the 2.02 billion, that wasn't all for this year. I want to say the total this year was like 4 billion or something like that when I looked it up. So about half of it is attributed to North Korea, and 1.5 billion of it was just in the Bybit I don't want to call it hack, but the Bybit incident that happened back in February. That was early in the year. start the year with a bang. You know what I mean? But Ryan, what's your thoughts on?
It makes me wonder how crypto is insured, right? So like sometimes it's people getting swindled out of their money and they're giving their Bitcoin away, right? Or whatever digital currency that they're happen to be exchanging, or like you said, they're paying a ransom. Again, they're giving it away. They're pushing it to a person. But like a lot of these breaches, a lot of these big breaches in this case are exchanges being hacked or being breached. So if that happens, right? Like so, if I have my crypto in the like this one in Dubai is called what data analysis. It's a 24/7 type of exchange. Where does that money? How do I get my money back? Right. So fiat is in the bank. FDIC is insuring it, or somebody else is insuring it. So if somebody robs the bank, I get my money back. Even though bank robberies still do happen to a certain extent, but they're very far and few between. But crypto breaches are happening all the time. Right. It's just easier to get that money than it is to go into an armored bank, right? Or to do a heist or something like that, like back in the day. So I wonder if they are insured, and if they are insured, how likely are you to get your money back? Since it is kind of like the Wild Wild West on that side. That part kind of throws me off because I have some coins here and there, but I don't depend on it as actual like money, right? Like, so if I had Bitcoin, like if I had my Bitcoin back in the day, like I would definitely like, this is real money because I would, I'd be rich, right? But I just got a few coins from dabbling and playing around, and I don't care about them. Like if they went away tomorrow, I wouldn't even know. To be honest with you, I check very sparingly. So is that being backed and secured by another entity? I got to look into that because that's pretty wild.
I mean, there is crypto insurance, but I've never looked into to how it's handled, right? Like, I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like it's just like if you have cyber insurance, right? Like there were things you
Mm,
were supposed to have done to where if you didn't do those things, we're not going to make you whole again. And how they make you whole again, I don't know, right?
right,
I can't
right,
speak to that. But to your point about bank robberies and things of that nature, right? I think it's one of those things where when it comes to traditional money, and I'm not even saying necessarily walking into a bank with a gun, but even when it comes to online, like they've had years to kind of take the hits on that to where the protections for that are a lot better off than it is
right,
for cryptocurrency, right? Like that's fairly new to where it's like they have to learn the same things they learned um through the traditional financial ways and means, right, on how to combat what can possibly be happening. And this is what this is, right? Like that is what is happening right now. They're like, okay, this is how they got in, this is how they did whatever they did. Okay, it's just how we protect against that now, right? And it's just a matter of sometimes you got to take those hits, you got to take those experiences, right? It's like
right.
it's like when your
Those
parents tell you don't touch the hot stove.
learning lessons. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
that
interesting to think about that. Yeah. Because in 20 years, like I could see not being on par with each other, but yet people will be, using a digital currency. China already has a digital yen, or I can't remember the name of their currency. I think it's the yen.
let's say yen is Japanese, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yen is Japanese, or no? Yeah. Yes, you are right. Yen is Japanese. I don't know what the
I don't know what their currency is, but yes,
Chinese
they've
currency is.
definitely. Yeah, but the Chinese they've been hitting this hard for the last couple of years, few
Yeah, and
years.
the US is supposed to be doing the same with its backed securities, like treasury bonds are being converted some regard. Like I watched a couple YouTube videos. I still don't understand it, but very interesting, and like it's what's keeping them afloat, right? Like so, it's very hard to sanction them in this regard because now they're making billions of dollars from stealing. So everybody's winning this year. The bad team. Hmm,
Got
hmm.
together to go after people. So that's a lot of resources coming after them. And it's only a matter of time before it happens here, right? Because again, as it becomes more prevalent, as China adopts it, the United States adopts it, Russia may adopt it, right? England, Germany, Italy, you start getting these bigger economies that start adopting it. They're going to put more effort into keeping people from stealing it. You know what I mean? This is how it goes.
It's true. Yeah. There'll be some kind of, I don't know, like there was a old show where it was like a buddy cop show, and one of them was an alien and the other one was a human. I can't remember the name of it. You know what I'm talking
Alienation,
about?
wasn't it?
Alienation.
Alienation,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't think they had paper money in that show. Like that's how far ahead they were thinking. I think in that show it was all digital currency. I don't know why it just popped into my head, but I think like you had to use like they had like tablets or whatever, and they would like exchange like some kind of NFT type situation. But I don't know.
But it's the same thing in Star Trek too, right? Like there's no money in Star Trek. Like they do not. You just put it in the what's the thing that creates their food for them, right? Like
Replicator?
replicators, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You ain't paying for nothing. I mean, you
But
got the
that's
black market folks.
yeah. But yeah, but that's the utopian society. Like in real life, that'll be a Jeff Bezos machine or a Elon machine, right? And you have to like sacrifice your firstborn to replicate. It'd be billions of dollars to use the replicator in our dystopic version of the future over here.
No, you're right. Because Alienation was on Earth, right? Like it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you that's a callback, man.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know why that popped to
crazy.
my head. That was the old show. Yeah. But before we move on to the next topic, I just want to remind everybody that you can go pick up the guide. Yeah, I'm plugging my guide. The Other Side of the Firewall is available pretty much everywhere you can buy books, or for a limited time. So until the first of the year, you go to Smashwords. There you go, and get the ebook for free. So it's free on the site. There's a code associated with it. I will put it in the description because I can't remember off the top of my head. But you go there, you pick up the guide for free. You can also, if you're in the Hillsborough or Tampa area, it's now in the library. So you can pick it up there as well. So, I'm all about access. So, people will have the ability to get the book in many different ways. Or if you want to give me money, I'm cool with that too, because I am an American capitalist. You can go to theothersideofthefirewall.com and pick up the book. And if you're tired of hearing me and my ads, you can get your ads here as well. We're looking for sponsors for the upcoming 2026 year. So hit me up. We have different packages and things of that nature. So you can put your ads in here instead. But without further ado, Shannon, I give it to you for the next topic.
All right, everybody. So this topic comes from webpronews.com. Excuse me. Written by Zane Howard. And the title of this one is Keystroke Ghost: How Amazon's 110 millisecond delay exposed the North Korean IT infiltrator. And yes, you heard that correct. 110 milliseconds, right? So Amazon detected a North Korean IT worker, right? Because remote work is something that's very prevalent out there, right? And something that you have companies that are looking for, maybe not as much as they were during COVID, but it is still something that's out there. But what ended up happening was they detected an IT worker based off the keystroke delay of 110 milliseconds, right? So because it was a 110 millisecond delay in their keystrokes, it kind of keyed them into there may be something going on here. And what that is you have someone that's trying to pretend like they're working in the United States or local to wherever the country may be, right? In this case, the United States. And so because they're trying to mask where they're actually coming from, they're going through VPNs and things of that nature. It does kind of give it away because there is a lag, right? So what's usually about, I want to say they said 20 to 50 milliseconds, I think, ended up being 110. And again, we're talking milliseconds here, right? So like it's not like we're talking about some crazy high speed. It's not like it's 2 seconds, 3 seconds, anything like that. We're talking milliseconds here, but there is there are tools out there that are able to pick those things up. And Amazon has done this a lot. Like they talk about how they've rejected 1,800 applicants. I think they said is what it was for people that they determined were not um, local or were trying to pretend like they were somewhere else. But yeah, this is kind of it was kind of funny when I read it, and I was like 110 milliseconds. Like that is imperceptible to me, right? Like, so I know Ryan, me and you have talked about how your video, when it comes to video quality, some of the things you can tell. I'm like, no, I can't tell that. No, I can't tell if that's P10. It looks the same to me, right? Like it all looks the same to me, but you have that eye for it, right?
I'd be like,
But
how? It's the
yeah,
same thing with my family. They'd be like, it does look sharper. But like, how do you not see? You don't see these Ks right here? We went from 1080p to 4Ks. Oh. Yeah, they'd be like, man,
it doesn't matter to them. But you're a video and audio file, right? So like that's kind of your thing. So that's why for you it's a bigger deal. But no, but like so, and this kind of rolls into the previous article we were talking about, right? With $2 billion in cryptocurrency, this is another way that they are earning money, right? Is they get these high paying jobs, right? And again, this was Amazon's IT department, right? So it may not even necessarily be that they were getting money, but because they're IT, they could have been getting, company secrets that they were supposed to be, NDAing or something like that. I don't know what it is to work at Amazon in their IT department, how they make sure the secrets don't get out, but it could be proprietary information that's getting out as well. So not necessarily the fact that they're getting paid, hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever it may be that's getting funded back to the Korean North Korean government. But yeah, this was an interesting read for me because that is imperceptible to me. Like the only time I ever even see milliseconds is when I'm just like troubleshooting something with a computer. Like if you're trying to see your connections and whatnot, it gives you
right,
the,
you're
the
doing
speed and whatnot. Yeah,
a ping
the
dash T.
ping or yeah. Like just keep it continual. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like yeah,
continuous
I'm just
ping.
like I'm like come on, man. Like I don't see these types of things. But again, these big corporations, these are the things they need to look out for, right? To protect their information and to make sure that someone is doing right by them, right? Like they're paying you the money. They expect you're out here working for them and doing for them what you're being paid to do. But yeah, this remote workforce thing, and this is not the first time we've seen it, right? This is the first time we've seen how they detected it, but it's not the first time we've seen it. We've seen it to where North Korea has tried to do interviews with use of AI, right? So they do the thing now that was brought up before on the show where they'll have people do the video interview and they try to make them, you know, flash in front of their face or do something to
Right.
determine whether or not it's AI, right? Because with AI, as good as it is, it still has its faults, right? So like there are certain things that you could do that all of a sudden it's like, oh, I see that ghosting or morphing, whatever it may be to determine whether that's AI. Hopefully it's not doing it on mine, right? Like I am a real person. Hopefully it's not doing it when you
Right.
guys
Like
are
it's like
watching this.
smearing yours.
Yeah, yeah.
I finally figure out that you're in North Korea. I'm like, he got me. So many years.
It's been 5 years, but no, yeah. This was an interesting read. But what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so it's funny because 110 milliseconds is a very long delay. Like if you're in gaming, like for people who play like fighting games or shooters, 8 milliseconds. That's perfection, right? Anything above 8 milliseconds is intolerable to them. And they'll show videos of them like side by sides with the controller, like they're hitting the button and how long it takes for the button press to the actual character to move or jump. So 110 is wild. But yeah, for us, we wouldn't care. Like, like if anything, there would be issues with virtual desktops. Like 110 milliseconds for virtual desktop, like that will cause ghosting. That will cause sometimes like I'll forget that my VPN is on and I'll try to log into work. It usually catches it. But if I were to cut it on while I'm already logged in at work, it would cause me to not be able to like hit the X on boxes to close them. I'm like, what is going on? Like it's just like not responding. Now I finally realized like, oh yeah, I'm the problem here. But for them to do it, like they are a very long way away. So that's probably the best they can do, right? In their case. And it's cool to see that we're getting better at detection through more obscure means, right? Like in this case, it's input delay or delay. In other cases, it's just being better at breaking VPN encryption, right, to catch these people. Because I want them out of here, not only because they're stealing, work, but also I want remote work to continue. Like if you keep messing this up for us, we're all gonna have to come back. I do not want to come back for as long as possible. All right, I'm riding the wave for remote work as long as I can, and you see it through the HR systems, right? Like they're doing more verification, they're doing more in recruiting with the technical interviews, right, to try to suss these people out. But criminals are getting smarter and smarter, so they're getting really good at evading detection. And this is completely off topic, but I would love if Apple or Amazon or somebody had a show that was kind of like The Office, but one of the workers was in Pyongyang, and like this will be like I think Apple can do it, right? Because it'd be heartfelt, right? And this person gets an Amazon job and they're really good at it. So they're supposed to be selling secrets, but they're model employee, right? And then they start to like their coworkers. And then at some point, they get found out or whatever, but their coworkers love them so much they want to get them out of North Korea to get them to the real job. It writes itself.
You
It
should have
writes
kept
itself
you should have kept that to yourself because that's getting stolen. Like someone famous is taking that because we got famous people watching the show all the time, of course, right?
all the
So
time. All the
yeah,
celebrities watch the show all the
bro,
time.
that's
Netflix is
awesome.
glued to us. All right,
Yeah,
Netflix, make this show. And then take our because Netflix is big into video podcasts now. You can have this idea if you put the other side of the firewall on in your podcast catalog. All right, let's barter here. Let's barter. But
that's
it writes
crazy.
itself. That's at least 3 seasons, right? Heartfelt, you know.
And the thing is, the audience would know after the first episode. As the first episode ends, they would show them in Pyongyang, right? Like they'd show
Hmm.
them as if they were just someone
You can
online
see
or
it.
whatnot, the
You can
whole
see
thing.
it.
And then at the very end of the episode, they log off and they go to, eat rock soup or whatever it is they eat in North Korea. You know what I mean? But it's an awesome idea, right? Keep this recording. Do not let this recording,
Right, right. I need to start drafting up. I don't know how to
bro.
write. I don't know how to write a TV show.
Bro, you will be in court within 2 years with telling someone they stole your idea. Because here it is. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I got to find the right co-writer. I got to find what's my man from Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan or something like that. Like he's doing Pluribus now. Like, come on, man, let's tag team the show. But no, it is amazing how they're so good at deception, right? Like to get there and actually get a job at a Fortune 100, Fortune 500, and get in there, still secret, things of that nature, and get paid, right? Because I read somewhere that it was either China or North Korea were creating people, right? They're creating false identities and they were collecting Social Security in different states, right? Like that's ingenious. That's another way to funnel money. Create this person and put them on Social Security. Boom. Now you're getting a check. Free money from the US. It's ingenious. Like they're finding so many off the wall ways of thinking to steal money and then funnel it back to their countries.
To them, right? Like, hey, we need to find a way to make money. I'll give you a week. If you don't come up with any good ideas, I'm strapping up grenades to your
Right.
chest. You know what I mean? Pulling the pin.
So,
I guess just the
yeah.
stuff they do in North Korea. So, I mean, if it's life or death, you'll come up with any way to do anything, right? And the thing is, you gotta be careful in these countries too, because you only want to let so much information in, right? Like you got the Great Firewall of China,
Oh,
to
right.
where it's like
Yeah.
they may not know a lot of things of what's going on in the outside world, and you have to be careful what you give them, right? They'll be like, wait a minute, they do what? They give them a stipend after they've reached a certain age and they work for so long. How come we don't do
Yeah.
that here? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
How come that's not a thing here? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to be careful what you give them, or it can breed discontent. You know what I mean?
Right. And that ties back into our fake TV show, right? His friends are getting lattes and stuff like that. And he's just like staring
Yeah.
at his cup of broth, wanting to get to the US. Hey, it writes itself. Right? Netflix, Apple. If Apple did it, would be nothing but stars. They would find so many
Convinced.
people.
I'm convinced that these, like the shows they do, are like the stars, like pet projects that they couldn't get funded elsewhere, like major studios or something wouldn't put them on. And I'm convinced because like I haven't seen something that airs on that show that's not a celebrity of some type that you've seen somewhere.
Right. So all-star
Major.
cast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, Netflix might be like that too. If they do get Warner Brothers, they might do the same thing. I mean, they'll own a lot of properties they could stick celebrities into.
See how that pans out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll. Go ahead.
What it's what's it called? Isn't it Paramount? Who's trying to do the hostile takeovers? Paramount, right? So yeah, Paramount's like, nah, son.
Paramount apparently had an offer on the table that wasn't initially accepted, but Paramount wanted more. They wanted more of the whole kit and caboodle, right?
Okay.
I think Netflix was only so much, right?
Yeah.
When I read the article, because I think Paramount offered more, but they were like, no, give us everything. We don't just want the entertainment part or whatever it was
Right.
that Netflix did. So yeah, it was more per share price, and Paramount was offering more cash. Was another thing. Like with their
Yeah.
bid, they were like, we're offering more cash, less stock than the other one is. The other one is stock based, so that can, you know how that goes, right? Like you play the stock market, it can
Right.
go up and down, whatever the valuation is, or whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to use as collateral, which may not even really be collateral, right? It's kind of like Elon buying Twitter, like that. That does, I don't know. And
Well,
then
yeah.
borrowing money from people. Yeah,
Using your stock as leverage to then be in debt so you don't have to pay taxes. Rich people, so smart.
yeah. But then he reached out to other people to help finance or something like that, right? Like even though the Tesla stock was the collateral, he reached out to other people to fund it. It was a
Yeah.
weird thing I saw. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But
Then he sold it to himself. He sold it to
AI, right?
yeah,
X
AI, yeah,
XAI.
to
Yeah,
XAI, yeah.
yeah. Come on.
Evil genius. All right. I don't know if you hear my dog snoring in the background. I keep snapping to wake her up. She's so old. She turned 8 and she's just like she was already sleeping all the time, right? Like now she's just always. And then she's a CPAP. So she be getting it in to snoring. She'll wake up coughing, but sorry for that break. Without further ado, we can roll into the discussion.
All right, everybody. So this article is from Isaka.org, right? Written by Mary Carmichael, and it's called "Avoiding AI Pitfalls in 2026: Lessons Learned from Top 2025 Incidents." And what this talks about is they talk about the different things that happened in 2025 that were based off AI pitfalls, right? So like you had the first one they have on here for privacy and security was the McDonald's AI powered hiring platform that got hacked because it kept the default credentials, right? So like, I don't know if I necessarily want to attribute this to being AI being something that we need to learn a lesson from, more so than it being, standard security principles that should be
Right,
done, right? Like you
right.
never leave the,
Not making the password for the Louvre.
yeah, like who's still doing stuff like this in 2025? But I mean, because it was AI related, because it was the McHire app. This is why it brings this up, right? So it ended up getting hacked, right? I say that with people that can't see me, I'm doing the quote fingers, right? because people were able to view 64 million job application records, right? So it was a major breach because someone didn't follow proper security protocols. But again, it had to do with AI, right? So the other thing they talk about, the second topic they talk about, discrimination and toxicity, right? So when a match becomes a wrongful arrest, so facial recognition, right? We've talked about this before on the show as well, where facial recognition doesn't necessarily work as well with people with darker complexions, right? So not necessarily just black people, but it could be a number of other the races, not races, but another
Like it's people of color.
people of color. Let's say that. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
stick with that. So yeah, it's something they go into and hear about AI and wrongful arrest and facial recognition not being the most reliable to support investigations. So misinformation. So this was an interesting, right? So it was a deepfake video that showed the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, and he was promoting trading platforms, right? So people were falling for this because it was AI generated audio and video, right? And again, it's getting very good when it comes to these deep fakes on the stuff that people are seeing. When you have someone that's the Canadian Prime Minister, like people think, okay, they're in a position of trust to where they can be believed to use these different platforms, and it's just not. They're not legit, or people are just getting taken for their money, right? So you got attackers. Number four is malicious actors, attackers with an AI sidekick, right? So cyber espionage campaigns, right? So the Claude Code was an orchestrator automating reconnaissance, scripting, and tool changing for attacks against 30 organizations. So it's kind of weird, right? Because we are doing more and more to implement AI into everything. And that's not going to stop. The AI genie is not going back in the bottle, right? But I think what it is, what this article is kind of pushing to for protection in 2026 is kind of being more careful with it and giving it a little more scrutiny, because it's to the point now where like I've been sent videos now, and I'm with you, Ryan. Like everything I assume is AI now, right? I'm like, I don't know what is real anymore. I got to take the clues. I got to look harder, possibly look at something two, three times to be like, this might be AI, right? Because it's just the way the world is now, right? And sometimes it's very easy, right? Like you'll see the watermark in the corner of the video, right? It'll be a Sora or something along
Right.
those lines, right? And I'm like, okay, it's easy to tell, but it's like, man, that looks very good. You know what I mean? It looks very good. For 2026, it's things like this that we have to keep a better eye on, right? Um, this one, the fifth one here, human computer interaction, lonely users, risky chats. The reason, well, as I was reading this kind of hit for me was I was watching an episode, and I'll get into this in the next part of the show, right? When we talk about what we did for the week. TV show Watson, right, has Morris Chestnut. They had an episode that dealt specifically with this because this kid was he was on the spectrum, and he was using, whatever the artificial name for it was, but it's just like, your chat GPT or whatever other chat bot you have out there. He was using it to help him because he was trying to ask this girl out to some type of dance or something like that. And what they were talking about, they mentioned something that I was like, is that a real thing? And it made me look it up. They mentioned AI psychosis is what they said. It's not a
Oh
real
yeah.
medical
Mhm.
term. Have you heard this before?
Yeah,
Had
I've
you
heard
heard,
of
have you
it.
heard this?
Yeah.
So I didn't know it was a thing until I was watching the episode. I'd never heard of it. And when it came up, he was like, it's not a real medical term. But he was like, but it is something that's being written about. And this kind of goes to that, right? So it's not necessarily the AI itself, but it also has to do with the mental capacity and the mental state of the person that's using the AI, right? Because this kid was relying on it heavily, right? And it was getting them into trouble. So it was kind of interesting, like the timing of that. Like when you came up with this, and I watched the show like a day before, maybe 2 days before, and I was like, oh, this is what they were talking about in the show. Economic harms they talk about, right? So like making sure that AI is not causing harm to different groups. Some safety and reliability, right? So like confident, wrong, and deployed. So we talked about it, how it could be as little as 250. Was it 250 was the number? 250
Right. Yeah.
documents.
Like documents can poison the
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So like, and it doesn't matter how large the LLM or the AI may be, right? Like it can be as little as 250 documents. And then like I said, if you put bad information in, you get bad information out, right? Like you start getting um, non-existent references or resources and things of that nature, right? Because what was put in there is learning from whatever you put in there for it. So pretty much again what she's talking about is being careful in 2026 and not to repeat these same kinds of mistakes that they're talking about in the article, and you will see them. Here's the thing, we're not saying you're going to bring them down to zero, but I think it's a matter of minimizing them for 2026 is kind of what they're leading to, and I'm for that, because again, The AI genie is not going back in the bottle, right? It is here to stay. We are going to have to deal with it. We are going to be using it. Like even the Department of Defense, Department of War, whatever you want to call it, has made it to where they're implementing AI into everything, right? And it may be a little haphazard, right? There's maybe some growing pains with it, but it is something that's being utilized heavily, right? So, right. I'm sorry, I took up a lot of time. My apologies, but
No,
what's
you're
your
good.
thoughts on this,
You're
man?
good. Yeah, you're good on all the points. So, there's a few that I wanna, to dig into, but first off, shout out to ISACA, not only because they just acquired the, CMMC, CCA, and CCP certifications, right? So they'll all go through ISACA now, but this is a very, very good veiled advertisement for their upcoming, oh man, I just signed up for it. ISACA Advanced in AI Risk, so the AAIR certification. So I like how like I gotta think more like the like companies, right? So you're gonna put up this really good list, very, very detailed, a lot of really good information. And then in the corner, by the way, if you'd like to sign up for our beta to be to be an AI certified member, go ahead and click that. So I did. You got me. So hopefully I get in. But no, I thought the privacy and security is always important, right? And like you said, it doesn't just it's not just an AI thing, right? It's just people needing to beef up their security, right? Like think outside the box, come up with more complex passwords, find a trusted password keeper of some sort, so you can keep all these things in line, even though some of our most trusted have been breached, right? So it's kind of hit or miss on which one you should pick. So I don't even give recommendations anymore. Like you should have one. You got to vet it yourself because yeah, I had LastPass. LastPass has been cracked a couple times. To include source code is out there, right? But then another one being the discrimination and toxicity, right? So we've seen where larger LLMs are out there wilding, right? Like Grok just had an issue where it was spewing hatred and things of that nature. And again, it's garbage in, garbage out. Like Twitter is a dumpster fire. So in Grok's defense, it gets fed a lot of bad stuff and is able to somehow not go rogue, except for there's been a couple instances where it's kind of flipped out. So that definitely is something that we have to be on the lookout for, as especially as they get more and more advanced. Like I've dabbled a little bit with Gemini, and I like some of its capabilities as well. But you have Gemini, you got Chat GPT, you got Grok, which I don't really use that often. But I heard is also very very good. Like Chris was saying, Grok's pretty good. So you just have to, I guess, vet those LLMs going forward, and then when you find out that they're teetering on racism or ageism, sexism, then you can back off that one. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go over here, mess with Gemini real quick. You have to kind of like balance it out because no model is perfect. And then the other one being the malicious actors. So I think that ties into the human computer interaction as well. We're kind of at a point where there is some really cool magical stuff happening with AI, and there's also some magician acts happening as well. So you'll see where these autonomous robots that like Elon is peddling or Jeff Bezos is peddling. Sometimes they're really autonomous and they're using AI, and other times they're being used by a real person with virtual reality gear on, right? Helmet and the hands, and they're doing a really cool magic trick where you don't know when it's AI and when it's a person, because they just don't have the capability yet. So we're kind of like we're teetering at the cusp of this new tech, but we're still like I think there was a runway in Russia where they were using real people, right? They're real people acting like robots and things of that nature. So we didn't already we couldn't already trust what we saw online. Now we're starting to not be able to trust what we see in real life. So, and I think that's part of the mental health standpoint, right? I just think we have to be very careful. Like, you don't know who you're talking to online. Is that a real person? Is that a chatbot? You don't know who you're interacting with in real life, apparently. Like, is that a really robot that's really doing robot things, or is that a person? So I think as these things start to kind of level out, we're just going to just be calm, cool, and collective and just take things as they are and then do our research, right? Because if you think about it too hard, it will break your brain. Like I get all these book scams all the time now, like people reaching out to me, and some of them I have reached back out to the real person, like, hey, your identity may have been stolen. Did you really send this to me from this email address? And so far, 100 out of 100 have said, no, that's not me. Right. Like, so I've not found any real people out there who want me to be in their book club. And if a book club charges you money, like it could be legit, but it probably is not legit. You can't really trust any of these fake identities out there. So I can like the same thing, like, cause I have the privilege and you have the privilege of not having to be out there on on the market, right? Either for applying for a job or for looking for a potential love interest, right? So there's a lot of people out there who don't have that luxury, so they're getting false job advertisements. They're applying for fake jobs, things of that nature, or they're on the opposite end, right? You got HR being stressed out, recruiters being stressed out because all these fake people and identities. And then the same thing goes for dating, right? Like people are like losing their mind because they think that this AI thing is really a person sometimes, and they fall in love with it, and then it glitches out, and then they go crazy because it's not a real person, right? They're attached to a machine, so it's a really weird place to be in society right now. So I'm hoping in the next year or two we'll get better clarity of what is real and what isn't. I mean, they've probably been saying that since the days of magicians and snake oil salesmen, right? It just we've taken it to that next step in technology.
And to your point about them thinking the AI is a real person, like the episode of Watson I was telling you about, they did that as a representation. Like he would be talking to his phone and they'd show the phone and the speaking voice, and then they would pan over and it was a person there that was representing, the AI
Right.
that was standing there. And I'm like, man, I wonder if that's how it is. Like that's not how I think, but somebody that may be suffering from, and I don't want to say AI psychosis because it's not a real thing, right? It's not a real term, but someone that may be heavily vested in this, that may be how it is for them. Like they've got a vision of what they think this chat bot looks like or whatever it may be. And like she's talking to him, like she's standing right next to him. I was like, this is an interesting show. I mean, but again, he was on the spectrum. He used it for help for things like with dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? Because some people were not nice to him. So like it's kind of what he had
Right.
to turn to. Like it was his mom and then, this AI program. It was an interesting show, and it kind of tied into what we've been talking about, like with AI. And I was like, oh man, just so happy. Maybe TV is targeting me. I don't know. Maybe they made that episode just for
Maybe.
me to watch, right? So I could bring it up here, right?
So it's crazy that you said that. So yeah, I know you don't watch Black Mirror, but Black Mirror had an episode like that in one of his most recent series, and they have a spoof. It's on Netflix, but they have a spoof called it's like Streamberry or something like that. It's like the Netflix equivalent in in this universe, and they're talking about how using quantum computers they can make TV shows specifically for people. Right. So when you log into Netflix, it won't be a show that everybody's watching. It'll be a show specifically tailored to you, which that's pretty scary. But hey, that could be the future.
Let's see some of the stuff I think about. Not in a weird way. Like it's just like maybe more violent.
And people getting socked out like Jake Paul. I forgot it was coming on. I did want to watch it because I was like, this is going to be the one he loses, and then sure enough, the one that he lost. But we can jump right into how we like to end the show with what you've been doing all week. But first, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who enjoys the show. Thank you for watching it. Our numbers are up across the board, right? We're over 24,000 weekly radio listeners, over 13,000 downloads, or we should be over 13,000 downloads when this one comes out. We're like right at the cusp. It's like 12,946 or something like that for the year, as well as our watch hours are up. Our new listeners online is up because we're through the TuneIn app as well as through WDJY 99.1 FM in the Atlanta metro area. So thank you to everybody for all that support. And thank you for picking up the guide, right? So that if you have not gotten the guide, you can pretty much pick it up everywhere books are sold. But you can also go and pick it up from me, which I would appreciate because I get more money from me than Amazon. So the other side of the firewall.com is where you can pick up the guide. But also I'm making it available to more people. So you go to Smashwords if you want to get the ebook. That'll be free through the holiday as well as the library. And I want to get in more libraries. So if your library doesn't have my book, you demand it on your shelves. But Shannon, without further ado, how was your week?
Man, so I've already talked about it. It was good, first off. Children was their last week of school, so they were excited knowing they were coming up on their holiday break, right? But for me, I watched the TV series Watson. It is an interesting take, right? Because it's not almost everything that has to do with Sherlock always, keys in on Sherlock, right? And Watson's kind of like the sidekick, but this one is him because Dr. Watson is a doctor, right? Always has been in all the iterations, right? Doctor or former doctor or surgeon. And it's a good series. Like it's in the second season. I'm gonna say it's like 10 episodes into the second season now. But like I was mentioning with the AI one, that was pretty good. There was another guy that was doing one about gene therapy, like he does like not gene therapy, but like gene manipulation that he did to this woman that he had never
Mhm.
met before. When they met in real life, they did this little experiment. A medical emergency arises, right? It's kind of like House with Sherlock and Watson intertwined a little bit. Right? But it's a good show. I suggest it for people. I like Morris Chestnut. But I'll try to watch him and everything he does. Some of the stuff I'm like, I don't know about that. I can only do so many love stories, right? Like this is kind of what he was kind of known for. Right? But yeah, it's a good show. I find myself, and this is crazy. I find myself watching old stuff over and over again because I'm going and I'm looking at some of the stuff that's out there now, and I'll watch. You know how if you go over some, there's like the quick 30-second or 1 minute trailer where they'll show something. I'm not as interested in some of the new stuff that's coming out like everybody else is, to where I'm like, it doesn't really pique my interest. So I find myself when something old comes on, I'll watch it. I did this same thing. So I talked about it before, where I was starting with the Die Hard stuff. I continued with Die Hard, watching that series of movies. The Negotiator. I don't know, Kevin Spacey aside, with everything that he has been
But
accused
yeah, I
of or
remember that
was
movie.
convicted
Yeah.
of. Yeah, Negotiator. I watched that one because I was like, oh, that's not a bad movie, right? Again, just watching old stuff that it appeals to me more than the new stuff that's out there. Which is how I know I'm getting old, right? So like, I gotta watch older movies and TV shows and things of that nature. Like I find myself wanting to rewatch old shows that I've already seen before, other than the new stuff. I did watch another episode of it's an Apple TV series, The Last Frontier. I'm near
Okay.
the end, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to continue. I think I'm 6 of 8 or 8 of 10 episodes into it or whatever, and I'm like, I don't even want to continue. Like the way this is going, like you've slowed it down so
Hmm.
much. I know they're doing this for the big reveal or the big, ending
Right.
thing, and I'm like, I should do it because I've invested all this time, but I'm like, I don't want to waste any more time. Is where I'm getting to now, right? Because I used to do the same thing. I used to do the whole I'm already this far into it. I might as well keep watching. Now I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know if I need to. Just save your time. My time is precious. It's valuable, you know. But yeah, it's really old stuff for me, man. Ghost of Yote played a little bit. Really am only I don't want to say I'm burned out on it, but because I did Tsushima and then went
Yeah,
right
back to
into
back.
that, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, I could wait a little bit. I don't need to do it throughout the week like I used to or whatever. And so, and plus, we got company here for the holidays, right? So it's a matter of not really doing a lot of other stuff that I would normally do. The wife and I, we just had a little date yesterday. Just went out and did some hibachi. You know what I mean? Like we were going for sushi and we went to a place that does hibachi as well. She's like, "You want to do hibachi?" I'm like, "I'm down for whatever." Me and you talking, just doing whatever,
Right.
right? And so we sat next to a couple that was from New York originally, right? They've been in Colorado for a little while, but they were from New York originally. And they kind of picked up on it that we were East Coasters as well. They were like, "Are you guys actually from here?" And the way they asked it was like, "We don't think you are." You know what I mean? And so then they kind of look at each other like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." It's like, so we talked to them. It was a good dinner, good like early dinner.
That's cool.
Other than that, man, it ain't too much going on around this way, man. Been going to the gym in the mornings. I'm waiting for that New Year's traffic to show up at the gym, man. Like when
Oh
the first of the
man,
year
is
rolls around.
yeah, first of the year to like March.
And here's the thing. In years past, right, and I say this, like I've been going to the gym for a while, but like I know I'm losing the battle in the kitchen. That's where I always lose it at, right? Like I go to the gym so I don't blow up to be way bigger than what I should be, right? I'm keeping myself in check. But last year it was January to March was the time frame, but before that it'd be a good maybe month, and then it would thin out to where it's like, okay, we're back to the regulars, us regulars in there are
Right.
all talking like, man, we're glad they're gone,
Right.
like stuff
Exactly.
like that. But last year it was all the way through March. I was like, man, what is going on? These people are sticking it out, which good for them, right? I'm not trying to poo-poo somebody that's going on their fitness journey, right, and doing what they need to do. But I'm like, man, y'all using up all my equipment. Like it's
Yeah,
mine, right? Like
you in
it's
the
mine.
way.
Yeah, yeah. But no, it's for everybody to use, right? Like if you have access, come in and use it. Like, and I tell people, like there are some people, like you ever notice when somebody's eyeing something that you're on? Like I'll ask them, I was like, hey, do you want to use this? They're like, oh no, I can wait. I'm like, look, you can work in if you want to. Like, come do what you do, right? Like I take a little bit of time in between sets. I'm not the sit on my phone for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
People like I hate that.
you're like the gym ambassador. You're trying to get people.
I'm the mayor, man. I'm the mayor. You know what I'm saying? I gotta look. That's how I get them in, right? And then I shake the hand. If they got a baby, I kiss the baby. You know what I mean? I give them a pin. Be
You're
like,
like,
vote for me.
why's the baby in here?
Yeah, 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 yeah. They can come. It's all right. I'm the mayor of that gym, man. But no, it's just I've been going there for so long now. Like you see people. There's some people like they're just there to work out and get in, get out, whatever it may be. But the conversations start however they do. You know what I mean? And we just make it happen. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to was that 11 days from now to where that gym is just gonna be full. You know what I mean? So packed. And I have, so like, it's weird because I have 24-hour access to the facilities that I go to because they're military installations, right? I have 24-hour access, so I try to get in early. But there's a certain time, like when they open up for everybody, like you're just like, oh, I know I got to get whatever I want to get in. I need to get it in before that time because I'm gonna lose out. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah,
like Black Friday, you're running to the bench.
oh man, yeah, it's
People tripping
crazy.
over dumbbells.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But no, it'll be fine. I'm glad people are trying to start that fitness journey and do right for themselves by themselves. But for me, I'm kind of like, come on, you know what I mean? But no, it's a good thing. But no, that's it for me, man. Nothing much to write home about. What about you?
So pretty good week. So I forgot to mention a week or two ago, I went to a holiday party. I was invited to the Paragon Cyber Solutions. So they're a service disabled, veteran owned small business, woman owned small business. Like they're doing big things down here. The founder and CEO is Courtney Jackson. She invited me out to their holiday party. They had a Roaring Twenties theme. So I got the pinstripe suit happening, the nice shoes. So I went
You
out.
love that time frame too. You
I
love that time
do.
frame.
I do. The twenties was dope. Especially like being able to like, with the themes kind of like cosplaying that time frame or whatever, like being there. I'll send you the video. They shot some really good footage. It was like I was actually like walk back in time. I was like, oh, this would have been dope. At the what they call them, the speakeasies, right? Because you had to have like when you walked in, there was a person you had to say the password to get in. But yeah, it was real cool. So I went to the holiday party, had a good time. The mayor was there, so the mayor, Caster, I had to shake her hand. I was like, man, I got a selfie. Like she was walking by, I was like, hey, can I get a selfie? So that was real cool. And then a lot of chores, right? Getting the house ready for Christmas, spending more time with the family as things start to slow down. I took the whole week off for Christmas, so I'm just chilling with the fam. And date night was last night. So we went to a place called Escapeology, right? And they have different escape room themes. So we did one last night. And I'm terrible at them. Terrible. I've never escaped an escape room. And this time was kind of my fault. Like my wife gave me the code at the end, right? And I just kept punching it in wrong and the time ran out. So I was like, we could have actually escaped. We did have like 40 hints though, right? Like, cause you get the button to get a hint. So it wasn't flawless, but we could have actually escaped if I had put the code in right
Was
at
it
the
was it
end.
just the two of you in the room, or were you with another group of people? Okay.
No, it's just two of us. Hey, so you can, if you book in advance, you could just do your own thing. So we got one. It was called the Lost City. The theme was, um, like your researchers following in the footsteps of a guy who was like a lead researcher. He found the lost city, and you're following his footsteps, trying to get the treasure and get out of there. But you got 60 minutes to get out of there before you perish. Is what they say. So we perished, unfortunately. We got all the way up to the treasure, and then the code, and then yeah. It was like do. But it was a good time. We had fun, and then we went to where did we eat at? Man, it was just last night. Where did we eat at? We didn't go to Armature Works, it's right next door. We went to Bar Taco. So there's a place called Bar Taco in Hyde Park. I always go to because I'm on a diet anyway, so I couldn't really get it in like I wanted to. But they made like these little tacos, like delicious. Like you get like duck. Well, yeah, I had a duck one. I forget what the chicken one was, and then the pork belly one, and then I had a cucumber salad. So trying to stay within my calorie budget, which I still had enough for a tequila flight. So I threw that in there too. I'm not supposed to drink on while I'm on this diet, but I was like, it's date night.
And celebrate, right? Celebrate.
Very, very expensive. Like it was literally just 3 shots for like $20. I was like, oh man. But it was a good time. Like we had fun. Then we came home and we were surprised that Chappelle dropped a Netflix series. So out of the blue, but we're old, right? So we got about 20, 25 minutes into it, and we're like, I can't keep my eyes open. But very funny so far. It might be some controversy out there. I don't know. I didn't get that part yet. But what I heard was not too controversial. It was more in line with what he's been talking about for the past few years.
So I read an article about it, and there was very little fanfare. Like they didn't do a lot of advertising for it or anything like that. And all of a sudden, it just dropped. I
Yeah,
think
I
Friday.
logged in and it was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird, but like, yeah, there's some stuff he says in it that may have him catch a little bit of beef. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you know what you signed up for though, when you because we went and saw him last year. I want to say it was For my last birthday, we went and saw it, and it was a cool experience. Like, it was one of those, which arena was it? It was at, the Amalie, so the hockey stadium, hockey rink, or whatever they call it, for the, Tampa Bay Lightning. So really good, really cool forum, but I don't know if I told you this, like, the lady in front of me was, smoking, so, like, we were in our seats were decent, right? They weren't on the floor or anything like that, so there's no security up where we're at, or at least they weren't trying to get involved, but this lady was up there tweaking, right? So she was smoking. She had a vape, and I was like, okay. But I'd seen this in public before. And then she switched to something else, and then she switched back to her vape, and then so she had a lit cigarette type thing in the stadium, right? We just all sitting there like, yo, what is happening? Like, and she's laughing harder than everybody else, and she's yelling back at Chappelle. I was just like, yo, I'm not. This is tarnishing my experience. I told my wife, never again. She was like, these weren't cheap seats. I was like, never again.
And that's a
We will sit in the first row next time you come.
and here's the thing, you kind of price out the riffraffs when you do stuff like that, right? Like that's kind of how it is. But no, that's kind of, you kind of have to, like even with sporting events, even right, like when you're going to be somewhere with thousands of people, you can't expect everyone to either have the same manners or abide by the same rules that you may, right? Like that's just one of those things that comes with going to an event like that. Yeah, I'm sorry that the experience was like that, man. No, you hadn't said anything about it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was like, did I tell this story already? But yeah, it was crazy. Like, so she reminded me last night about it. She was like, remember when we went to see Chappelle and this happened? I was like, oh yeah. I was like, because when we saw Kevin Hart was here last year, and we were like in the front because I was like, never again. So I think we're like 3 or 4 rows behind that time, and they were very expensive. It was he was at the Straz, so Straz is like our where all the plays go, like Hamilton and Wicked. So he did that one. So I think the special that's on Netflix now is the one that we saw when he was working the material out. I think that's the one that's currently up there. So I'll be interested to see what because it's been a minute, so I probably forgot half the jokes anyway. But it'd be interesting to see what he changed when he was getting, because there was no cameras at ours. So I think he was just really just starting to get the material down. But aside from that, I saw Doctor Sleep. So that one's about to leave Netflix. I keep saying I want to watch it. So it's the sequel to The Shining. I never read the book. I now wish I had read the book because the movie was real good. It was nothing like, you got the nostalgia on top of just the masterpiece that was The Shining, but it's a good follow up, and it did not start or end the way I thought it was going into. So I was like, okay, I like what he did here.
You're a big Stephen King fan too, though, right? So like, I think that's where the difference is. Like, if you're a Stephen King fan, you're like, yeah, it's a good movie or whatever. But like some of the Stephen King stuff, I'm just like, ugh, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's kind of
A
off the
little too
wall.
weird for me.
Yeah, because I want to see The Longest Walk too. I didn't see it in theaters like I should have. So hopefully that'll be streaming sometime soon. It already is. It's
It
been out for
should
a
be.
minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it should be.
so I gotta check that one out too. And I have not watched the uh, it TV series yet, just because the kids are always around and it's very violent. Like, so I watched the first couple episodes, and man, listen, that clown ain't playing. He d- he does not care. So I was like, I'll wait until I can binge this by myself. And the last thing, I started playing Control. So Control is a game made by Remedy, because I'm just looking for something to play after the masterpiece that was Ghost of Tsushima. I almost play Horizon, but then I realized they took it from me. The ones that I downloaded off of PSN, the freebies, they replaced them with the remasters, and they're charging for them. So I'm gonna hop in, I'm gonna play it, but I just was like, Control is free right now, and then I'll get Horizon for like, I think it's like $30. So
So can you go get the ones that are not the remastered versions? Like, do
mm-mm.
you have to go
It has
search
a
for them? Like,
has a lock on it now. So it's like this, like it's like, yeah, I've never seen that before. Like, Game Pass never took anything from me. Microsoft never took anything from me. Sony, how about that? But I'll get to them, because I think that'll be my next series. I'm gonna do Horizon finally. It's gonna happen, and then that's pretty much it for me. Like, I've been watching Pluribus. Like, the finale is next week, so deeply engrossed in that TV show. It's definitely not going the way I thought it was going, and yeah. I don't have any more TV shows right now. Like, The Pit doesn't start back up for a while. I think it's in January.
it's January 8th. It's not that. It's not
Yeah, it's not that far
a
away,
ways
right?
away. Yeah. Less than
Yeah.
3 weeks, but yeah, you got me hooked on that one, man. Like me and
So
the wife,
good.
me and the
So
wife
good.
were just like,
It's a great TV show. I was really surprised how good it was. And and I have to catch up on Stranger Things. So my daughter got me. She was like, "You want to go see Stranger Things with me? Because the finale will be in theaters." You remember me talking trash like I wasn't gonna go see it? Got me wrapped around her finger. I was like, "Of course." And this is how she got me, right? So she invited me to go see Stranger Things. Guess who paid for the tickets? Me. I was like, "Oh, she got me with the okie doke." So I got her, but it was a good deal. Like I didn't know I had her do everything, but apparently we get gift cards, right? So we're gonna go see the show, but then we get $20 gift cards back or something like that. So it's kind of was a good deal. But obviously that's like one small popcorn at a movie theater nowadays is $20. So I'll be lucky to get some pretzels or something. But so now I have to catch up, right? After I talk all that trash, and I gotta hurry up and finish the season so that way I can go into the finale and watch it in the theater. But it'll be a good time, and I'm glad that she invited me.
Our daughters have us wrapped around their fingers like that, man. It's crazy.
Hmm. Played me.
Yeah, mama's boys and daddy's girls, man. It's how it is.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
So, I don't know if I made this aware of the show, the whole private Santa thing with my daughter. I might have done this
Yeah, yeah, you told
offline.
us that. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's true, but you putting my business out in the streets, girl. Don't let them know
yeah,
you
you don't
got
have one of
everything.
these. You got one of these private Santas. Get you whatever you want, but it's all good. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. So I'm gonna enjoy the Christmas holiday. I did not send out my Christmas cards like I was supposed to, so they're not gonna reach people until after Christmas. So I'm terrible at it. So I asked all these people for their address, and now I got to send it out. You'll get it for New Year's. All right. Sorry.
I saw the pictures though. They were great pictures, man.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I don't know if I told you it prompted us to do the family pics. I think I did. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I
You sent
did.
me.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, because I've been asking for a while, and we just hadn't been making it happen. And I saw yours. I showed them to the wife, and she was like, "Man, those are good pictures." I was like, "When we doing ours?" She was like, "All right, you've asked me enough times." So I was like, "All right, here we go."
Right, right. See, that's the difference between us. I get drugged to these things, and then I have a good time. The pictures were cool, but like I remember being like back in the day going to J.C. Penney's and be just a bunch of disgruntled dudes all staring at each other with the ugly sweaters. Now we've grown to like we got a lady, right? So we go to her studio. So it's a much more enjoyable experience. But that pretty much wraps it up for our show. So definitely continue to check us out. We are on WDJY 99.1 FM in the Atlanta metro area, and also simulcast on the TuneIn app worldwide. You can also watch us on your podcast platform of choice. You can pick up the guide, The Other Side of the Firewall, as well at your wherever you buy books, but please pick it up from me at theothersideofthefirewall.com. And then you're going to be treated to a bunch of guest interviews during the holiday break. So you will get one from I have Ahmed Austin. Really good interview. He has a book coming out as well, The Boundaryless Enterprise. So definitely check that out. That'll be on Christmas Eve. And then you will also have Reginald J. Davis. He's a Microsoft solutions architect. So we have a deep conversation about AI readiness. So definitely check that one out. He's also co-host of Them Tech Folks, Develop Every Mind Folks podcast. So definitely check it out, Them Tech Folks. Yeah, and then hit us up if you have any questions or you want to be a sponsor, because we're looking for sponsors for the upcoming 26 year coming up. So stay safe, stay secure, and happy holidays.